In today's news, a high number of random acts of assault reported in the territory, as well as BVI schools continues online learning with few in-person sessions. We span across to Barbados, where the infectious UK variant of COVID-19 has reached the territory of Barbados. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
2020 posed its challenges, but thankfully, many community-minded individuals and businesses came to the forefront when needed. The BVI Red Cross would like to thank all the sponsors for their teamwork in ensuring the needs of the community were met all of 2020. The BVI Red Cross would like to thank the BVI public for your continued support throughout the year. Happy New Year from the BVI Red Cross. Let's make 2021 great with the power of kindness.
The win! Oh!
What the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin', what's really good, what's happening, what's up?
Davis has won it for the
Welcome, viewers. Today is Wednesday, January 27th, 2021, and I am your host for today, Kyla Kenisha Forbes. We are coming to you live straight out of the British Virgin Islands, of course, for your local, regional, and international content. Now, viewers, we have so much to get into locally as well as regionally. So let's jump right into it. Now, in a press release from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, it was reported that a high number of random assaults on individuals within the community were reported within the first weeks of 2021. The press release recounts a few of the incidents, and these are as follows. Now, on Sunday afternoon, a resident of East End reported that she went to throw out her garbage into a dumpster next to the Willard Wheatley Primary School when a male unknown to her came out of his Jeep and hit her in the face. Now, in a second week of the month, a customer outside of a bank on De Castro Street was injured with a rock thrown by an unknown male across the street who was randomly spouting expletives and threats. The bank door was also damaged. He had to be treated. The victim, had to be treated at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital for her injuries. The denial of one male's request for the return of a scooter, which was confiscated by the police, resulted in an assault on the attending female officer as well as the male officer that went to her aid, both of whom had to be treated at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital. In this incident, Ronald Antoine, 22 of Greenland, was charged with 2 counts of assault, occasioning actually bodily harm, damaging property, resisting arrest, assault on a police officer, and escape of lawful custody. In another incident, in the first week of January, a bank security officer reported being assaulted by a customer who was denied entry for not wearing a mask. And on 2 separate nights, 2 bar attendants are reported being spat on and then stabbed with a knife by the perpetrator at the same bar in East End. Leonardo Fred, 61 of Vanderpool Estate, was arrested and charged for wounding in that manner. Now, viewers, these are very sad accounts as we see random acts of violence just spewing in our community. I think it's very sad, and I hope that whatever is causing such an uproar of assault and violence in our community can come to a stop. Now, as we move on, we see where the Chief Education Officer, Mrs. Connie George, said that schools are continuing online learning with a few in-person sessions due to the ongoing circumstances that are being faced with the pandemic. She added, and I quote, "We were forced to go in this direction with the onset of COVID-19, and definitely we have found where we may not be perfect with online learning, but there are still so many advantages and benefits," end quote. Students in the territory are engaged in a blended hybrid learning system, which is a combination of learning at a distance and the traditional on-campus learning in the classroom. The CEO, which is the Chief Education Officer, accompanied by other panelists, explained the current hybrid system during this week's on the live Facebook program, A Chat with the Community. Other panelists on the program, which focuses on public schools and education, were Assistant Principal of the Altair Scatliff Primary School, Mr. Karan Tonman, as well as Deputy Principal of the Elmore Stout High School, Mr. Cecil Hodge, and Principal of the First Impressions Primary School, Miss Atterbury. Now, panelists represents the different examples of hybrid learning at the primary and secondary levels, as well as private and public school sector. The benefits and challenges of this new school system were discussed in detail by each panelist. Now, viewers, after this announcement earlier this week, parents took to social media, and we're really seeing a lot of posts, and they are definitely not pleased with this announcement. Parents are trying their best, of course, to be moms, dads, employees, but now to be a teacher, which have proven to be very difficult. But of course, with COVID-19 still being a prominent threat in the territory, the Ministry of Education has considered all factors and deemed this method the best, although parents beg to differ. Viewers, we have so much more for you, but we do have to take a quick commercial break. So this is 284 News, and we'll be right back.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come. Yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. As we proceed in the newscast, the BVI Health Services Authority has received a new automated extraction machine as it continues to enhance its laboratory arsenal to provide more efficient COVID-19 testing. Laboratory Manager Ms. Colette McCorney said the authority is also expecting an additional Q-tower thermocycler, and that these pieces of equipment will increase productivity and COVID-19 test results turnaround times tremendously. She said, and I quote, "Currently, most of the RNA extractions are performed manually and is complemented by an automated extractor with the capabilities of 16 extractions in 38 minutes. With this additional extractor, we will be able to do 48 automated extractions in just 1 hour," she said. Now, Ms. McCurdy said that the BVI Health Services Authority will now be able to test 188 COVID-19 samples per session, with all the equipment combined working towards improved efficiency. This, she said, is expected to almost double the current output of 96. From March to November 2020, the lab tested more than 6,000 samples of COVID-19. And between December 1st and January 15th, that number dramatically increased to over 18,000 samples. She said, and I quote, "Since the borders reopened in December, the laboratory has been required to do more COVID-19 testing," adding, "Right now, our capacity is around 250 to 300 tests per day. With the addition of this new equipment, we will have the capacity to produce between 450 to 500 test results per day." Now, the BVI Health Services Authority is committed to delivering excellent, compassionate, client-centered health care across the territory. So, viewers, we're very happy to see that the capabilities and the efficiency at the BVI Health Services Authority is continuing to increase. Of course, with COVID-19 being such a fluid situation, and of course, with our borders now being reopened, this additional equipment will serve the BVI well. Now, as we move on, senior public officers from the territory had the opportunity to weigh in on UNESCO's recent Futures of Education webinar series and shared plans of molding responsible global citizens right here in the territory. Secretary General for the BVI National Commission for UNESCO, Dr. Alison Flax Archer, said the meetings are held as a discussion among various countries where ideas and challenges are shared. And in this case, the topic was citizenship and participation. She said, and I quote, "The shared nature of our challenges requires that we view our world as systems and subsystems, with our actions having implications for others at local, regional, and global levels. To efficiently address these challenges, we must collectively reaffirm education as a human right." This was the words of Dr. Flax Archer. The BVI National Commission for UNESCO has been working closely with the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports to understand these challenges among youths and expand their interactions beyond the recollection of fact through interdisciplinary approaches to education, such as project-based learning. This, the Secretary General said, will also help youth understand the importance of civic consciousness, human rights, and diversity, as well as bring their awareness to critical social issues faced by their community and globally, all in the effort of creating responsible global citizens. Director for Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, Mrs. Brenda Letsom-Tai, spoke on citizenship and participation challenges and opportunities as it relates to youths in our territory. The director said, and I quote, "We plan to increase the amount of programs we offer this year and have already identified civic consciousness, respect for rights and diversity, and volunteerism as subtopics that we will be discussing with our young people. When it comes to volunteerism, the department has partnered with the secondary schools to provide avenues for this volunteerism by utilizing our youth for many of our productions that we carry out. She added that although it may seem like free labor, volunteers develop a sense of responsibility on projects, productions they are working on, and oftentimes are great promoters of the project. To view the director of Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, Mrs. Brenda Letsom-Ty's presentation at the meeting, there is a link that you can find in the story on our website. Now, Dr. Flax Charles noted that in relations to what the Department of Youth Affairs and Sport is undertaking, teachers are central and need to be empowered through training, curriculums, and teacher guides to support interdisciplinary discourse aligned to the sustainable development goals, especially in areas beyond their specialization. End quote. Now, the meeting ended on the notion that education leaders, policymakers, and planners in the Caribbean must rethink civic education by gaining clarity on the activities which promote good citizenship and the role of diverse stakeholders grouping in creating national, regional, and global systems which facilitate sustainable democracy. Viewers, we have so much more for you, but we do have to go to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we will span across to Barbados, where they have discovered the new variant of COVID-19. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
The wind! Oh!
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin', what's really good, what's happening, what's up?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News, and I'm very happy that you have been sticking with me all through this evening's newscast. Now, as we span across regionally to Barbados, Barbados is the latest Caribbean country to confirm the presence of the infectious variant of COVID-19 from the United Kingdom. This evening, Prime Minister Mia Mottley reported that the new UK variant was detected in 3 of the samples sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, which we know as CAPRA. She said, and I quote, "I regret to inform you that there are traces of the new COVID-19 variant on tests conducted on island as well." This was Prime Minister Mottley's remarks, while adding that the local health officials sent 10 samples to be tested. Following the recent news of community spread and now the presence of the UK COVID-19 variant, that it is on the island or was on the island, the Prime Minister held that she said that decisive actions must be taken to combat the transmission of the virus locally. She said, and I quote, "We are at a point now where we believe that we have to act and act decisively. And it for that reason that I have consulted many persons and have listened to hundreds of views and perspectives." Now, prior to her national address, Mottley consulted with members of the social partnership, the leading political parties, medical professionals, and non-governmental organizations on necessary steps going forward. Prime Minister went on to declare that flights to Barbados will be reduced as the airport will remain open. Motley also revealed it will be mandatory for travelers to Barbados to receive a rapid COVID-19 test on arrival, and government will be extending the mandatory quarantine from 2 nights to 5 days for all travelers to Barbados. She said, and I quote, "Once you have a negative test, you will then go to a government-authorized quarantine center to spend a minimum of 5 nights before a PCR swab is then taken to determine if you are suitable for a safe exit for that facility." She continued, "If you are positive with a rapid COVID-19 test, then you must go immediately to the Harrison Point, which is the isolation facility in Barbados, for assessment, because you have to be assessed by the doctors to ensure that they can appropriately categorize you where you are," she further explained. So viewers, we see where things are really escalating in Barbados. And yes, Barbados did have a 2-night quarantine period for their travelers, but now we see where, because of the heightened situation, they have now extended it to 5 nights. Now, because of all that is happening in Barbados, and as a part of the island's decisive actions to combat the virus, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, as we've been speaking about, has also announced that effective February 3rd to the 17th, the island will enter a period of what she calls a period of national pause. Prime Minister Mottley declared several intensified restrictions to combat the spread of COVID-19 in Barbados. She stated that the curfew has also been extended, but it will be implemented from February 3rd to start from 7 p.m. and to end at 6 a.m. daily. Barbados is currently operating under a 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew. So we see where, as of February 3rd, that curfew will be extended. As well as Prime Minister Mottley reminded that breachers will be penalized for breaking the law. Now, she says, stay home, stand in your house, stand around your yard. This is what the Prime Minister stressed to the residents of Barbados. She disclosed that public sector employees will be working from home, as well as private sector entities that can accommodate working remotely. Most construction projects will be put on pause except for ongoing works at Highway 1. She continued, "We have a lot of empty holes, deep trenches that collecting water and could equally be a threat to the community and society. And we obviously have to allow those works," as she continues to speak about, to go on. As well as only supermarkets, pharmacies, gas stations, except convenience stores will remain open. Supermarkets will remain open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. during the week and close on Saturday and Sunday. Pharmacies and gas stations will remain open on the weekdays. Gyms, restaurants, bars, and shops will be closed from February 3rd as well, and essential services in the public and private sector will remain in operation. She said, and she emphasized, that what we are essentially doing is saying to you, if you don't need to leave your home at all, do not leave home. You can go out on your step, you can step in your yard, you can walk around in your background, you can do all of that, but try to stay in the perimeters between 7 at night and 6 in the morning, and generally for sure where possible during the day. She urged all residents to use the remainder of the week to do their shopping and urged them not to panic. Now, viewers, we know very well of being on strict curfew as well as being under 24-hour curfew. This is not the case right now in Barbados, but we truly do understand and know how this feels to be restricted. But we see where leaders across the region, across the world, have loosened some of their restrictions, COVID-19 restrictions, but has had to pull them back and reel them in for stricter restrictions as communities spread this new variant. And viewers, we know that COVID-19 is a very fluid situation. So we are surely praying for our other islands over in the region, especially Barbados and other islands who are really grappling with the effects of COVID-19. But we are asking you, viewers, that the BVI is very blessed, and we are hoping that we can continue to live in this level of normalcy once we do all that needs to be done. Wash your hands, wear your mask, because BVI, we are truly blessed. Now, viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com. You can like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram as well as Twitter. I am, and it is always my pleasure, I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes, and we'll see you again tomorrow as I and Javon, we will deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. This is 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. Have a happy Wednesday evening, everyone. Bye.